He thought the hearing would be quick. Just a quiet foreclosure, a clean little theft, until the courthouse door opened, and the lawyer said his full name. Quick one. Where are you watching from today? Drop your city and state in the comments. And if you believe in dignity, fairness, and real accountability, hit like and subscribe. Now, let me show you what happens when they try to erase a man's legacy in public. Morning, rural Georgia. A lake that looks like it's holding its breath. Silver mist rolls across still water. A wooden dock, weathered boards, old nails, old stories. Clothes on a hand tightening a rusted bolt on a railing. The hand is strong, but the knuckles are thick with age. There's a tiny tremor, like pain being politely ignored. This is Calvin Brooks, 62. Retired Marine Master, Sergeant. He moves the way men move when they've spent a lifetime. Doing hard things without asking for applause. He wipes his brow with the back of his wrist. A faded Marine cap sits on the bench beside him, sun-bleached and honest. He looks up at the cabin, not fancy, not new, but it stands like it belongs. Calvin steps onto the porch and pauses at a nail near the doorframe. A key is meant to hang there. It isn't. He checks his pocket, pulls out a keyring, and stares at it for a moment, like the metal carries a memory. He unlocks the door, walks inside. The cabin smells like pine, lake water, old coffee, and time. He sets a folded letter on the table, smoothing it down like it might misbehave. The words on the envelope are official. Cold dot, the kind of letter that expects you to feel small. Calvin opens it. His jaw tightens. He reads it once, then again, and as he reads, the room feels smaller. Foreclosure notice. Delinquent taxes. Final hearing today. Calvin exhales slowly through his nose. His eyes drift to a framed photo on the wall. A black man in work clothes, younger, proud, holding a fishing pole. Cabin behind him. Calvin's father. Calvin speaks softly, not to the room but to the memory. Pop, I paid what they said. I got receipts. He folds the letter neatly and places it in a worn folder, the kind you buy once and keep forever. Then he looks out the window at the lake. That water has watched births, funerals, cookouts, and long quiet talks between men who never said, I love you, out loud. This land is not just property, it is proof, and someone is trying to take it. Late morning, the sky is bright, but there's a bruise of storm clouds forming in the distance. Calvin's old truck rumbles along a two-lane road. Inside the cab, everything is functional, nothing is flashy. A small American flag patch on the sun visor. Folded rag in the cup holder. A plain envelope with receipts tucked inside the folder. Close on Calvin's eyes in the rearview mirror. Focused. Calm. But behind that calm is a pressure building. The kind of pressure men learn to carry quietly as he drives. We cut to flashes of memory. A younger Calvin, in uniform, standing tall. A drill instructor's voice. A hand salute. A promise made to something bigger than himself. Then back to the present. Calvin passes a sign, County Courthouse. He doesn't slow down because this is not a request. This is a fight. The courthouse is old, wooden, and heavy with history. Buzzing fluorescent lights, ceiling fans turning lazy. Worn benches that have held a lot of nervous people. Calvin steps into the hallway. The air shifts. It's subtle, but it's there. Two older white men glance at him, then glance again, as if checking if he belongs. A clerk behind a glass window looks up and down at Calvin's clothes. Clean jeans, work boots, collared shirt. Not poor, not rich. Just real. Calvin approaches the window. Morning. I'm here for the hearing on Brooks' property. The clerk's voice is sweet in a way that isn't kind. You got the case number. Calvin slides the letter forward. The clerk takes it with 2 fingers like it's damp. She looks at the paper, then looks at Calvin. You people always wait until the last minute. Calvin doesn't react. Not because it doesn't land. because reacting is what they want. Calvin keeps his tone level. I came as soon as I got the notice. The clerk gives a small shrug, like responsibility is optional, behind Calvin. The laugh, smooth, confident. A voice that assumes it owns the room. Bo Mercer, late 50s. Country club charm, clean watch, white teeth, a smile that never reaches his eyes. He walks up with the kind of energy that says he's already won. Well, if it isn't Calvin Brooks, he says. Didn't think you'd show. Calvin turns slowly. Morning, Mercer. Mercer grins wider. Don't stress yourself, all right? This is just business. You can always move somewhere. You can afford. The clerk chuckles. Too loud. For the size of her job, Calvin studies Mercer. I can afford what's mine. Mercer leans in slightly, lowering his voice like he's doing Calvin a favor. Come on now, let's be realistic. That land's sitting on a gold mine. You don't have the resources to hold on. Folks like me do. Folks like me. Calvin's eyes harden for a half second, then smooth again. He looks past Mercer to the courtroom door, because Calvin is still waiting. Not for mercy, for timing. Mercer notices the folder in Calvin's hand. What's that? Receipts. Mercer laughs softly. Man, this county don't run on receipts. Courtroom interior, wood panels, a flag, a judge's bench that feels like a throne. Judge Holloway, 60s, sits with a tired expression. Not cruel, not kind, just used to getting through the list. The bank's attorney is already set up. Sharp suit, crisp papers, laptop open. Beside him, Janice Harlan, bank VP, 50s. Hair perfect, smile, curated dot. And in the second row, Bo Mercer sits like a man watching his favorite program. Calvin takes his seat alone. One man, one folder. The judge calls the case. The bank attorney stands. Your Honor, this is a straightforward matter. The respondent has failed to meet his obligations. The bank requests possession. We also ask for an expedited ruling due to safety concerns on the property. Calvin's eyebrows lift slightly. Safety concerns. That's new. The judge looks at Calvin. Mr. Brooks, do you have counsel? Calvin stands. No, Your Honor, not at this time. Mercer's smile grows. Janice's eyes flicker with satisfaction. The bank attorney continues. Confident, we have documentation of delinquent taxes and missed payments. Notices were sent multiple times. The bank has been more than patient. CalvinSpeaks.com. Your Honor, I paid. I have proof. The judge gestures. Submit your evidence. Calvin steps forward and offers the folder. The clerk takes it, flips through it, quickly, too quickly, like she's skimming a man's life. The bank attorney steps in, with a polite, deadly tone. Your Honor, even if he has partial payments, the ledger reflects arrears, fees, penalties, administrative costs he failed to cure within the timeline. Calvin's jaw tightens. He didn't miss the word. Fees. That's where they hide the knife. Calvin tries to keep it simple. I paid what they told me. Janice finally speaks, voice honeyed. Mr. Brooks, we sent letters. We called. We even offered options. You didn't respond. That isn't true. Calvin's eyes narrow. I didn't get half those letters. Mercer mutters, loud enough to be heard. Always an excuse. A few quiet laughs. The judge looks at the clock, impatient. Mr. Brooks, the court needs objective documentation, not feelings. Calvin nods once. He knows that sentence. It's the sentence that tells you the game is not built. For you, the bank attorney leans in for the finish. Your Honor, we also have concerns regarding a deed correction. There is an irregularity that places ownership in question. The bank requests the property be secured, pending resolution. Calvin's head turns sharply. Deed correction. Mercer's smile doesn't move, but his eyes brighten. Calvin realizes something then. This was never about a missed payment. This was about an opening, a crack, a weakness, created on purpose. The judge sighs, ready to close it. I'm inclined to grant the bank's request. Mr. Brooks, without counsel, this will be difficult for you to contest. Calvin grips the folder so hard, his fingers ache, and for the first time, the calm threatens to break not into rage, into something older. A man watching his father's work gets stolen with a smile. The judge begins to speak, and then Calvin hears a voice behind. Low, controlled, female, Your Honor. I'm here for Mr. Brooks. Before the judge can respond, the bailiff steps forward. There's a small commotion at the door. Calvin turns in the hallway. Just outside the courtroom, an older white man with a Vietnam vet cap stands near the benches. EARL, Red Lawson, 70. Weathered face, eyes that have seen too much and remembered it. Red catches Calvin's eye and gives a subtle nod. Not friendly, not casual, urgent. Calvin steps into the hallway for a moment. Confusion on his face. Red leans close. Son, this ain't about your taxes. Calvin's voice stays low. I'm starting to see that. Red swallows. Mercer, been circling that land. Tacon Marina. Boat slips, new road access. He needs your piece to make it work. Calvin's eyes harden. How do you know? Red looks away. Shame flickering. I heard things at the bank. I seen Mercer walk in, like he owned the place. And I heard Harlan's name, that bank VP. They've been planning. Calvin's breathing slows. Red pulls out a folded diner napkin, worn like it's been opened and closed 100 times. A date, a time, a place. Red pushes it into Calvin's palm. That's when they met. I didn't know what it meant then. I do now. Calvin looks at Red. Why tell me? Red's eyes glisten just slightly. Because I fought for a country that told me we were brothers. I've been lying to myself a long time. Today, I'm tired. Calvin nods once, that is all. Then Calvin turns back to the courtroom, because now the door isn't just opening, it's swinging. The courtroom hushes. A woman walks in like she already knows what's true. Dana Brooks, 34, a big city attorney. .com, face sharp eyes, suit fitted, not flashy, professional. She walks straight to Calvin, stops, looks up at him. And for a half-second, something personal passes between them. History, daughter who left, and a father who stayed. Dana turns to the judge. Your Honor, Dana Brooks. I enter my appearance for the respondent, Mr. Calvin Brooks. The bank attorney blinks, recalibrating. Janice Harlan's smile falters. Bo Mercer's posture shifts, just a touch. The judge raises an eyebrow. Ms. Brooks, you're late. Dana nods. I understand. We're ready to proceed. The bank attorney stands fast. Your Honor, we object. She's attempting to delay an inevitable outcome. Dana turns, looks at him like he's a stain she plans to remove. No delay. I'm not asking for time. I'm asking for truth. The judge pauses. Proceed. Dana sets a plain file on the table. No theatrics. Just wait. She speaks with clarity, Your Honor. This is not a routine foreclosure. This is a coordinated attempt to strip my client of property through manufactured fees, irregular notices, and a deliberately mishandled deed correction. The bank attorney smiles, dismissive, bold claims. Dana's expression doesn't change. Then they'll be easy to disprove. She looks at Janice Harlan. Ms. Harlan, you're the VP overseeing this account. Janice lifts her chin. Yes. Dana nods. Good. Then you can explain. Something simple. Dana holds up a document. Here is proof of payment received on time. The bank attorney leans forward. Dana continues. And here are the bank's internal processing records showing fees added after that payment. Then, the account reclassified as delinquent. Janice's face tightens. The judge leans in. The air changes. Dana continues. And here is the notice log. It claims letters were sent multiple times, but the postal verification does not match the addresses listed, meaning the bank can't prove he was notified properly. The bank attorney's smile fades. Dana pivots to the deed issue now, the deed correction. She lets the silence sit for a beat. Your Honor, this irregularity was not discovered. It was used, a decades-old clerical error that was never finalized properly. Then, suddenly resurrected, the moment a developer expressed interest in acquiring the land. Dana glances toward Bo Mercer. Bo's grin is gone now. Dana's voice stays calm, but the words cut. Mr. Mercer has no legal standing in this case. Yet he is present, in the second row, smiling, watching. Bo shifts, offended. I'm just here as a citizen. Dana looks at him. No, you're here as a beneficiary. The judge's eyes narrow. Dana turns back to the bank attorney. Your Honor, I request the court compel production of communications between the bank and any third party regarding the Brooks property. The bank attorney hesitates. Dana adds, softly, we already have some. Janice Harlan's color drains slightly. The judge holds a hand up. Ms. Brooks, what exactly are you alleging? Dana opens the file, and the sound of paper turning feels like thunder in a room full of liars. If you've ever watched someone get judged before they even speak, comment, because what happens next is why paper trails matter. Dana lays out the timeline like it's a map. Payment made. Fees added after account reclassified. Notices logged without valid proof. Deed issue resurrected. Hearing scheduled fast. Developer present. Then she brings out the piece that makes even the judge blink. Your Honor, this is an internal email chain from the bank. The bank attorney jumps up. Objection, foundation, authentication. Dana doesn't look at him. Foundation will be established, and authentication is already in progress, because the bank produced these records under lawful request. When we asked for account history, the judge looks at the bank attorney. Sit down. The bank attorney sits stiff. Dana continues. The email includes a discussion about clearing the Brooks property for a project. She looks at Janice. Ms. Harlan, do you recognize your own words? Janice's mouth opens, then closes. Dana doesn't press with anger. She presses with precision, because the phrase used was not foreclosure. It was clear. Janice swallows. Dana turns slightly. Eyes on Bo Mercer now, and Mr. Mercer is referenced as the party waiting on the result. Bo stands, forced laughter. This is ridiculous. Dana holds his gaze. Is it? Then Dana drops the final weight. A separate document, Your Honor. Here is a preliminary project proposal involving a marina access point. The plan requires the Brooks land to create an entrance road. Dana pauses, just enough for it to sink in. This was never about missed payments. It was about land value. The judge's voice gets sharper. Ms. Harlan, do you deny coordinating with Mr. Mercer? Janice's polished confidence cracks just slightly. The bank, often speaks with local developers. It's economic growth. Dana steps closer. Economic growth does not include falsifying delinquency. Bo Mercer's face hardens. He tries to pivot, tries to regain the room. Your Honor, this is a hard-working county. People handle their business. If Mr. Brooks couldn't keep up, that's unfortunate, but that's not my fault. Dana turns to him fully. Her voice is quiet. Mr. Mercer, did you call him boy in the hallway? Bo blinks. He laughs. That's a reach. Dana nods once, then looks at the judge. Your Honor, the courthouse security footage will answer that. Bo's smile dies. Janice's eyes flash toward Bo. That's when you see it. Not partnership, panic. Dana turns back to Calvin. For the first time since entering, and her voice softens just a fraction. Mr. Brooks paid. Mr. Brooks complied. Mr. Brooks did everything required. Then her tone steals again, and they still try to take it. Dana faces the judge. We request immediate halt of proceedings, a court-ordered audit, sanctions, and referral for investigation. The judge sits back slowly, and for the first time, the bench doesn't look like a throne, it looks like a weapon pointed at the right people. The judge's voice is firm. Proceedings are halted. Janice flinches. The bank attorney looks like he swallowed glass. The judge continues. The court orders an audit of the account and records. The court compels production of communications related to this property. This matter is referred for further review. Dana doesn't celebrate. She doesn't smile. She simply adds, Your Honor, we also request attorney fees and sanctions for bad faith. The judge nods slightly. Noted. Bo Mercer shifts, trying to stand tall. This is overreach. The judge cuts him off. Mr. Mercer, you have no standing here. Sit down. Bo sits. And now it's Calvin's turn. The judge looks at Calvin, voice a shade softer. Mr. Brooks, do you wish to say anything? Calvin stands. He doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't perform. He simply speaks from a place that doesn't bend. I served a country that promised equal protection under the law. I didn't ask for favors. I asked for fairness. He looks across the room at Janice and Bo today. I'd like to see it. Silence. Heavy. Clean. The kind of silence that makes people remember they have a conscience. The judge nods once, then bangs the gavel. Court is adjourned. Outside the courthouse, the storm finally breaks. Rain hits the steps hard. Loud, cleansing people scatter under umbrellas. Janice Harlan exits fast, avoiding eye contact, phone already in her hand. The bank attorney follows, face tight. Bo Mercer steps out slower, trying to look unbothered, but his eyes are wild. He sees Calvin. For a moment, it looks like Bo wants to say something sharp, but Dana is there, standing beside her father, and Bo realizes what he is facing. Not just a man, a family, a line, a paper trail. Bo turns away. He retreats into the rain. Calvin watches him go. Then turns to Dana. They stand close, but not touching. Years of distance sit between them like an invisible wall. Calvin's voice is quiet. You didn't have to come. Dana looks up at him. Her eyes soften, but her words are firm. Yes, I did. Calvin nods once. He looks down at her file. That was thorough. Dana almost smiles, but it doesn't fully form. I learned from you, she says. You taught me not to fold. Calvin's throat tightens. He looks away quickly, like emotion is a thing he's still learning to carry. Dana breaks the silence with something practical. We need to secure the property records. I'll file an injunction. We'll also request a protective order on any further action. Calvin nods. Then, after a beat, why now? Dana pauses. Rain runs down her hair. She looks at him like the answer hurts. Because I saw your name in a public notice online, and I realized, if I didn't show up, I'd be letting them do to you what I spent my whole career fighting. Calvin looks at her. Slowly, he exhales. All right, not forgiveness, not yet, but a door unlocking. Evening, back at the cabin, the storm has passed, leaving the air cooler, cleaner. Golden light spills through the trees. Calvin and Dana step onto the porch. Dana looks around like she's seeing her childhood through adult eyes. Inside, the cabin is quiet. Calvin walks to the wall. He lifts the key ring. He holds it for a moment. Then he hangs it back on the nail, a soft, metallic click. A simple sound, but it lands like justice. Dana watches him. Calvin speaks without turning. Pop built this with his hands. Worked nights, worked weekends, paid taxes when it hurt. Dana nods. Calvin's voice lowers. They thought, because I'm older, I'd be tired. He turns to her. I'm not tired. Dana meets his eyes. Good, she says, because they're not done trying. Calvin nods once. Then we won't be done either. They stand on the porch together. The lake reflects the sky like a mirror, and in the distance, a boat moves slowly across the water, quiet, steady, unmoved. Some people think age makes you easier to push around, but what they forget is time doesn't weaken a man built on principle. It sharpens him. If you believe dignity matters, drop where you're watching from and subscribe for more stories where accountability shows up on time.